Hello, my friends, my sons and daughters, and various pets, and of course the various slaves in my dungeon. We return now to take a look at two games between Enoz and lolrsk8s. lolrsk8s has made a comment that these games may contain some traces of autism. Well, as individuals who pursue autism, I'm sure our autism detectors will be going off. We have two maps here I have never heard of before. One is Swampside, so I guess Trump wasn't able to drain it after all. And then we have Ashey Alternative. It honestly terrifies me to even think what that might even mean. I believe that Swampside is the first game, so let's have a gander. We have Mr. Extended Warranty versus My Soul Burns. That's almost surely Enoz playing as Zerg in the left side, and lolrsk8s playing as Protoss on the right side. My Soul Burns. This is off the heels of the entertaining Ascension games played on the 9th of September 2023. I honestly don't remember which one. Was it 4 or was it 5? I casted half of it and I don't even remember. All things are just a blur of pain and delirium to me these days. As a result, of course, I have not done much casting as a result. Well, not much CMBW casting, really. I've been kind of following along, but I don't play anymore other than a handful of games prior to this. And those were mostly to dunk on someone called Lucky Noob. Fresh meat for me to traumatize, albeit not before lolrsk8s got a hold of him. lolrsk8s are chatting to blind through the game. There was definitely a lot of trauma inflicted mentally and physically on that. I wonder if that will transfer into these games. Enoz has already been subjected to trauma of various amounts, and he has also inflicted trauma. If you have not watched that second group with Keen, I highly recommend. Highly recommend. Extremely silly. It almost appears like we're going to see something silly here. It's not quite an all-in 6 pool, courtesy of Kian and for unleashing that disgusting mess upon the world, but we are seeing some vestiges, some similarities here, and I'm starting to think I need to coat this mic boom in WD-40 because it squeals like a whore every single time I put my fingers on it. Either I've got the Midas touch or that piece of shit has started to rust from all the various coffee immersions it's gone through. So this scribe will scout the dastard revelation that there is in fact a Quazeth pool. He never would have guessed that by seeing the Zethicors. And there is a Burl Droleth over here, not morphing into... Oh, it's an early Matrix. I think that my soul burns. So the Zeths are charging down the map, all 4 of them. Look at that, we can multi-select in a replay. It's magical. Actually, I had to be careful that I did this pre-release setup accordingly because I had a prototype plugin file of Veek's new drag select that apparently only worked for me and not for anyone else. So the Droleth escapes, the Zeths run in here, just as this finishes, it scares them. They might have been able to trade their lives for a single scribe kill, instead they're trading it for copious amounts of stonks in the bank. My soul burns as the Hierophant and various legionnaires squash all but one of them. It's okay. There is reinforcements. Those reinforcements aren't going to... I was gonna say they aren't gonna accomplish too much, but he did kind of like walk face first into them. A little bit of semi-micro there, but I think that losing the damage actually cost lolrsk8s the engagement there. I think that if he had just moved, he actually would have killed every single last one of them by engaging the smaller quantity before they surrounded him. No, I am very tired and exhausted. Oh look, it's a second Hatrosk. He didn't bother to expand. He went straight to a macro. He's still got lots of money, but with only making Zethikar. This is the Battle Scribe DF's favorite coming down here as more exchanges are had. lolrsk8s gets cold feet. Now, Protoss are plants, so their feet still count as roots, right? Oh, intense tickling was had. The scribe is on the way. It has weaved all around all kinds of hazards, and it's not going to be scouting, it's going to be for a secret base. So, there's going to be some Vulvacores coming. There's still a Matrix. There's now a Zealot, slightly tankier, more damage, more likely to withstand getting slapped by various dogs. Enoz has expended most of his money by extent of building things and not really reinforcing his economy in any shape or fashion. In fact, both players are running a very minimum econ challenge game. It's kind of like that Final Fantasy VII run that the Swedishman showed me, or the Final Fantasy VI run that another man showed me that just never fought any trash whatsoever, never gained any experience, killed everything at the most minimum level possible. That's kind of like what the players in this game are doing with their economy. Unburrowing here is not going to get him too much. He'll gain maybe 1 or 2 kills. lolrsk8s can absolutely destroy this. Maybe not that they've reinforced and he's all out of position again. Deja vu, but he does manage to escape with only a little bit of posterior tickling. Now this scribe over here did not build a nexus, it built a single pylon to keep itself warm like a hobo huddling around an oil barrel. So there is a Stargate. What's it going to build? I'm guessing he's going straight to... No, it's an Aurora. I was going to say I basically go straight to Panoptis, but he didn't want to wait for it. Impatient as always. He has a scribe selected. He wants something with it. What's it going to be? It's going to be a hidden lattice, the most daring of things. Additional Zethikars keep spewing into his general direction. All he really needs to deal with this is like a second Matrix. And that's kind of going to be it. But if his units get chased out here, they could get surrounded and murdered with this number here. There are some ticklers. Fighting that is not recommended. Tickled. Enoz has begun to add workers to his very, very depleted worker pool. He's got 2 bases with a saturation. I think that's actually shy of full saturation for his main, isn't it? It's getting a Hydrith Den though. There is indeed a second Matrix coming, but there is a lot of units slowly amassing here. The lone Aurora could face a disgusting and humiliating death to Quaslisks. Absolutely tickled. Oh, they burrowed. There's no idea where they went. Oh, they unburrowed. And the Zealot here. Oh, he almost escapes. Zeth died amidst all of that. So, the hidden lattice. Nobody suspects the hidden lattice. The most dastardly of hidden tech. And it's going to be an idol that it makes, not a vassal. Disappointing. It's an exemplar that's coming next. Oh, may as well. Quaslisks will have a hard time tickling that town. Although he's very intimidated by the Quaslisks, he doesn't want to run into there. Oh, it has 3 armor. They have 0 armor penetration. It's literally like trying to corrode the paint off of a semi-trailer with nothing but piss. lolrsk8s very gingerly, very, very gingerly steps in and out for individual units in this. It's almost 300 APM, desperately trying to kill that one Quaslisk. It's okay, Enoz has to keep up with it, and that means a lot of his workers that he made are chilling out, doing absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, lolrsk8s is ascending to an unheard of plateau of 19 scribes. There are, in fact, secret units being built in here, extremely dastardly. He pounces on that lone Quaslisk, absolutely annihilates, and Enos is starting to become flustered. Absolutely flustered. There is another exemplar that was just started. Several Hydralisks have joined the fight, or Hydralix, if you ask Ricky Honajasi. The tickling is becoming intense. Got another one, and another one. A lot of Enos's units are slightly injured. The Droleths charge forth. Not the unit of choice I would use against the exemplar, but perhaps he has a cunning strategy in mind. He could also go straight to tier 2 and turn all the Hydralisks into Bactylisks. There's a second lattice. Oh, secret hatchery is about to be uncovered as the exemplar slowly tickles down this. If there's a less efficient way to do this, I don't know. I mean, I guess he could be using something other than an exemplar, but it's been 11 kills for a rather substantial amount of effort. The Droleths did get sent back home. That Aurora, I'm not sure. Oh, never mind, it is still here. I just couldn't see it against the mineral line on the minimap. It is tickling. Away he goes. Oh boy, the balls are coming. There is a stray Vespane Ridge here. lolrsk8s is becoming brave. Oh, the Hydra's walked forward. That would be his call to Carlos in that case. He could have dove them, and that's really the most dangerous unit in there by far, but he chose not to. Too intimidated by the small nibbly things. He's Texan, you know, they remind him of crane flies, tornadoes filled with tumbleweed and other unpleasant things. You know, if he just sat the exemplar on the ledge, he could do this whole dancing thing while getting oceans of free shots. This is definitely a fight that he needs to commit. Oh, the balls! Oh. Oh, the balls are bouncing. Oh, the Droleths have returns. 46 versus 20 workers. Enos has enough money to build an army 3 times this size. And then some. That's on top of tier 2, by the way. Already hasn't. So just morph the Hydrath Den, send in a swarm of Bactylisks, and claim your hard-fought victory. Meanwhile, this Aurora has 8 kills. Nine kills. 10 kills. Now, only through inaction is it finally destroyed, killing countless workers. Over half the amount of workers that lolrsk8s himself possesses. Meanwhile, his crack team of secret agents that he's been amassing over here in this distant far-flung corner of the map, their number is still growing. Oh dear, so both of these structures are now morphing. That will give Mr. Extended Warranty the opportunity to redeem. And he desperately needs to redeem. If he allows the exemplar to continue to amass at their insane pace, how will he ever survive? Well, he does have 3 bases now. And he has amassed nearly 50 workers. That's quite impressive. We just are nearing on to 1337 time, by the way. lolrsk8s finally manned up, just as the Bactylisks were morphing. This is going to be discouraging for those of you looking to redeem. The balls are bouncing, the Hydras are moving into the Zealots, who then run away from them. Yeah, the jumping into melee range does not work particularly well, especially when they have Hierophants. 2 Azeracors have arrived, but it's not going to offer too much. The balls are going to continue to bounce. Well, Enoz is in a bit of a pickle, so when you're in a pickle, you make men who are very good at sucking back whole pickles all at once. And that would definitely be the Azeracor. Definitely a very pickle-sucking back kind of individual. There's still a secret army slowly being amassed over there as lolrsk8s finally starts to make workers. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of Azeracors. They will do 5 damage to the Exemplar. You have to be mindful of that. When you have 15 Azeracors attacking your Exemplar, they could pose a threat. Of course, they're terribly short range, not very good for chasing down units that can just hang above ledges shooting them with splash damage, but, well, that's the unit of choice for the moment. With the amount of money he has, he can turn them into even harder men if he so wishes. He could get Britain's hardest. There's 13 of them in there, in fact. 6? 12? No, I can't count. Is that 13 as well? Or 14? He has almost as many fat dudes as lolrsk8s has units in general anyways. No. No, some actually dangerous things are starting to appear. Sorry, I can't math. I'm Canadian. Never trust me for numbers. But secret army has finally been assembled. Various toasters march over. Those idols in particular could be quite useful in the coming slapfest, what with all the air units that are being made. Oh, that was a disaster. This is going to be worse of a disaster, though. Enoz is sleeping on the job. It's time to go in, lolrsk8s. You can't let them get lots of free damage on you. The Bactylisks love this situation. Balls have been distributed. I feel like lolrsk8s could have pushed into there and just murdered them, but now that opportunity is slipping away as additional... He's back to tickling. I feel like your time would be better spent making workers and perhaps additional production structures. And maybe an expansion or 2. Maybe build a handful of Auroras. Now, Enoz has defended his expansions, but he's done absolutely nothing to protect his main base whatsoever. If lolrsk8s was to, for example, have like 5 or 6 Gladiuses just fly into the main base, this game would probably be over. lolrsk8s finally charges forward, sending all of his Exemplar to move command into the Calculisks, where they can take free damage from all the Bactylisks, resulting in their annihilation for basically no return whatsoever. Even so, this is certainly a fight that I think lolrsk8s could win if his units weren't caught on each other. Unfortunately, they were kind of caught on each other. And yeah, losing the Exemplar to basically nothing there. That was a biblical disaster. They'll write about this in Alexander's handbook for hours to come. That also squashes the only real standing force of actually dangerous units that lolrsk8s possessed. Now is the time he's going to add additional production, and if Enoz was on his sea game, at least he'd look around and see what's going on in the rest of the map. Instead, he is content to sit here for the moment, terrified of what lurks beyond, and we'll just take this base instead. There is no gas capping going on basically anywhere at all. There is, however, an Argosy. There's also one engram with a second on the way. Again, area units could cause lolrsk8s some headaches here. He's a little bit better defended, but The expansion's not so much. He's certainly fortunate that Enoz is slacking on checking out the rest of the map. After all, there was a whole slack of idols and other stuff in that army that he never saw a lattice, and it, you know, I mean, you probably wouldn't really suspect a strange off-the-ramp lattice, but at least you'd like to see if he's still committing to lattice units, or if he's switching harder into heavy air. This ledge is going to be a disaster for him, mark my words. Not before he murders a bunch of workers, though. Some potato thalors have arrived. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. There's definitely some mashing and stewing going on here. Not that many scribe kills at all for the dedication of all those units. Trying to focus down the Nexus as a single Panoptus shows some slick moves spinning around. Nexus is starting to take hull damage, but the rest of his units are dying en masse to the engram. And I don't think... Oh, shit! Some Mutalisks have arrived. Oh, they have departed. Oh. There we go. They're all... It's a disaster. It's horrible. Hey, we'll actually get this Nexus down. Just... Ha! Ha! It's okay. He has an Empyrean. Just another 4 or 5 of them, and maybe he can actually start making some progress on the map here. A new secret army is being amassed, and there is a single engram over there. Oh! But his units all got cut out. It's just some Hydralisks. lolrsk8s invests far too much time into this tickling behavior. And Enoz could take that fight, absolutely. Focus down the Gladius or the Panoptus, one of the high-value targets anyways, and he'll get a lot out of it. But the economic play is starting to show. Enoz has 81 workers. Some of them may be idling, but most certainly his income is substantially higher than lolrsk8s, but with his one expansion not even mining at the moment at all. With no capped geysers, lolrsk8s is starting to feel the pinch in the gas department. Well, he is, however, continually annoying Enoz. Enoz might even get annoyed to death, but I feel like once he realizes he can cap those geysers and make 1,000 more units than what he's making, this will end rather swiftly. Well, this assumes he can defeat the almighty Twin Towers over here. If he hard commits onto the Nexus again, I feel like there will be a repeat of tragedy. Another engram. Feel like he wants more Empyreans here, but they're dying miserably anyways. Yep. It's okay. Miserable death is also on Enoz's menu as well. Definitely wanted some fat dudes just charge up the ramp and force them down. But a secret army has arrived instead. And it dies absolutely miserably for no real reason whatsoever. He killed like one Nathracor. Not a particularly efficient trade, mind you. Oh, he has a Crucible here. That's quite an investment to a base that's never been shown to be scouted, much less in danger of being attacked. Not sure if moving out here is even really the right idea. It's been shown that Enoz's army is a lot larger than lolrsk8s'. Moving out here is exceedingly dangerous, and that's going to happen. You can't really tickle them anymore. It's not Quasis and Zethicors. Oh, so he realized that Vitalisks exist, and this is going... No, lolrsk8s, don't do it! The moment this man pays attention and notices you flying in there, he's going to instantly instantly annihilate whatever is going towards him. It's really just amassing air units. It's like he really wants those engrams to do as much splash damage as possible. I'm not sure what lolrsk8s' plan at the moment, and I reckon lolrsk8s doesn't know his plan at the moment. He's making a Solarian. Solarians are not particularly good against Zerg, especially. Desperately would want, if he wants anything, he wants Empyreans. A stack of Empyreans, more Gladiuses, but actually Atreus's would probably be decent at this point. They'd be a little bit beefier. He's got a front line now. I feel like the writing is on the wall. If lolrsk8s sticks his nose into this, it's going to be a disaster. Enos may not even need to pay attention at this point. lolrsk8s has absolutely no killing power here whatsoever. He needed to build those crucibles back in his main because Enos could pull the trigger at any moment here. There's so many units. You really wanted to use Disruption Web here. That could maybe help for a moment anyways. Well. It's a disaster. Enos' units are getting separated all over the place, but you know, it may not even really matter that much. Yeah, he's not focusing firing. He's attacking Stewards at the moment, which is allowing lolrsk8s to get a little bit of damage in on here, but there's so many. Oh, the other Empyrean died. The Solarian is still somehow alive. All the crooked dongs are going every which way. And it dies miserably. And the engram dies miserably. And the other engram dies miserably. Another Empyrean has arrived. But the matrices aren't really going to offer too much resistance against this. There's just too much range. Many large men are attempting to squeeze, belly dance their way through the line of crooked dongs as the Empyrean charges forward. Oh, another one has arrived. And off he goes. Oh, what's up? Here comes that boy! Oh shit, what up? The scribes charge forward to nibble. Well, they got nibbled. How will lolrsk8s respond to this minor setback? I reckon he's going to build another engram. What do you think? Yep, there it is. Just one Mutalisk right here. That'll be it. It'll be over. But does Enos suspect? Does he suspect? He did cap his geysers. Hallelujah! Praise Allah! A single scribe escapes. Oh, the crooked dongs put an end to that. There's a fourth engram being built there, and an argosy is being built. Well, now units are going to get A-moved across the map and probably die an absolutely wretched death. Here it comes. Well, an Empyrean is on the way. This Crucible is not in a particularly useful location, seeing as these are already getting buffed. Maybe he hopes to make a wall of engrams. Oh, Enos has realized, wait a second. I can just crawl in the poop chute. And lolrsk8s may now realize there was a slight error in his grand strategy. Well, they might follow the scribes into... Oh, God. Oh, it's happening. Oh, no! Oh, my God! Well, Enoz has now faced with a crossroads. What do I do now? Could just go straight to tier 3. He could airlift a Drolith over here and start building. He could charge his extremely large number of Aziricors over here to perform a field prostate exam. Meanwhile, lolrsk8s expends the last of his once vast riches on an additional... No, did he move the Crucible? Or is that where it always was? You know, I have not been paying attention. I thought it was more over here, but I must have been wrong. Crooked dongs are flying. Don't thank me, you're not winning. These has to be winning strats. Oh, all the Mutalisks died. Except for just a handful. All your scribes are dying. What a rotten way to die. Here comes the rest of them. You're not gonna force him to endure the lash of the spanking. I'm disappointed. Actually disappointed. Alright, on to the next one. We have Ashey Alternate. Again, just the very suggestion of that just terrifies me on a deeply fundamental level. It is Terran. Terran versus Zerg. Now with Enoz, of course, playing as Zerg and lolrsk8s switching to the Space Marines. He is probably going to go for that Baneblade rush I programmed into the AI back in Dawn of War 1, along with the wonderful, what was it, the Basilisk Crush. Those were actually highly effective. Very, very effective and very silly projects way back when I entertained that game before they absolutely destroyed it, what with hard caps and utter nonsense. So, lolrsk8s is getting some early gas here. And Enoz is also getting gas, now going straight for Hydrith. It's not an Achmed first, no faith, it's almost impossible to see Enoz's units on the mini-map. This map is just yet another map where people just despise having any kinds of defense. Just leave all your bases really open and easily exploited by air units and drops of various kinds. Oh, it is Achmed. Achmed claims his first brunch. Now that Enoz knows that Achmed is on the prowl. Achmed the Prowl. What will he do? What can you do? Oh, there's a Cyprian coming. We have some diversity in this composition. lolrsk8s is just going to build one of every unit to see what they do. So, some flailing around here. Oh, it's an anchor. You know, a proxy anchor would have been absolutely devastating at this point, seeing as Enoz is not really looking around or doing too much of it. Oh, he's placing a circuit over there somewhere. Again, a proxy anchor would be actually devastating right about now. In fact, an all-in would have been devastating right about now, too. In fact, if Achmed had just walked across the map at that point after killing the scout, I feel like they could have killed the circuit or just otherwise walked past it and the Cyprian could have killed a lot. There is a lone skith that is tickling, but not really doing anything of any real value. I mean, it could actually commit to attacking here if he really wanted to. He could kill the Maverick and then try to avoid the Cyprian, but he's not feeling particularly brave, and now the feet are planted inside of lolrsk8s' own backside, showing us his contortionist skills. He's going to make a second anchor. Well, I mean, go off then. There is a large man and a large amount of money. A disgusting amount of money. In fact, 2 Cyprians that did kill Maverick. What a rotten way to die, but it's more of a symbolic victory at this moment. It's not going to give Enos too much at this moment. It's actually just like impossible to follow his units on the mini-map. I can see the vision, but if you had like an expansion down here being built, it would almost be impossible for me to tell. See, it goes down, and you can kind of see it if you look really, really closely, but leaning back, I definitely can't. The Skiths take another sweep around here and get their taints tickled. It's a fulcrum next. lolrsk8s has an idle mason sitting here, just picking his nose. And a proxy stockade was built by that worker over there, making Cyprians. Benno smiles in the reflection of the Cyprian, but will it be effective? With the Zerachorus already out, I'm not really so sure, but you never know. You never know. But what's he hoping to get with the fulcrum exactly? These kind of just patrol around here and scoot by every so often, pretending to be relevant, but otherwise accomplishing very little. 18 to 16 workers. Both players participating in the low economic handshake, I presume here, as Cyprians begin to amass into the anchor. And away it goes. Will it go for the main, or will lolrsk8s attempt to plant his feet in the extended booty? With that idle mason still doing absolutely nothing, it will be a Cyclops. The feet have landed to, well, something. A dastardly attack force is on its way towards lolrsk8s, but seeing he has 2 anchors, I don't think he's really in too much danger. However, this expansion could be heckled. Another anchor was built over here. So will Enos think to drag in his Skiths for this attack, or is he going to just leave them patrolling? I think at the moment he's probably going to have other concerns going on. Now he looked over here for a moment, but he actually decides to pull his army all the way back across the map. Well, I guess at the moment he doesn't have much choice. His macro hatch is only just finishing, and all those eggs contain workers. Anyways, additional feet are en route. lolrsk8s, having tickled the workers, now attempts to escape. Nope, he decides to fight the Azuricor up front. I may as well. He wants to get closer to that circuit. Oh no, the second anchor has been spotted, but it could get some good damage, and Enos wasn't really on the ball with that one. But he's got enough beef here, it's not really going to matter, and lolrsk8s attempts to escape. Now, he hastily unburrows the Cyprians. They were going to no, they walked into their open arms of death. Absolutely disgusting. Both players sitting on a absolute fortune as Droleths charge forward towards the second anchor that has now been destroyed. What a rotten way to die. Absolutely miserable. I'm not sure whose bodies those are. I think they belong to Enos. But are they Hydras? So, there's 2 Mavericks, an Akhmet, multiple Masons, including one bearing some gas, a single Goliath, a Cyprian, and the Masons go back home. No, now they get, no, they're gonna go over there. lolrsk8s uncertain just how all in he wants to do the DF strategy. Oh. The sight of the Gundam intimidates Enoz just for a moment. Second Fulcrum, lots of money. If you mined enough gas right now, you could just go straight to tier 2. Build a single magical and probably force an Alt F4 immediately. The 3 Masons have retreated over here to form the Metzen Collective, where they will just pick their noses in tandem, along with the unknown 4th cousin, of course, breaking the rule of 3 and making Metzen weep tears of blood. That is suspiciously purple and green. Additional Goliaths en route. No support for those Goliaths in terms of healing. There's another macro hatch being built. lolrsk8s faces being overrun by beef here as, well, Achmed alone isn't enough to stop all the various Tyranids from washing over him. But Cyprian's LMAO. lolrsk8s retreats to Secret Base 69 as additional anchors launch off. Now those are Hydra bodies, so what were these? Enos is gonna peek his head up there again and find a most peculiar sight. Very queer indeed. He has brought his own Zeracor, just oddly feet-shaped. The Cyprians are charging for, and they die. What a rotten way to die. Absolutely miserable. I guess those are Zeracor bodies. I would think they would be larger for the Zeracor being so large. But that's a graphic that's in dire need of being replaced anyway, so not really too much point getting nitpicky about that one. Additional scuffles. You know how lolrsk8s likes to keep his hands in your pockets, feeling around for any loose coinage, or perhaps suspiciously palm-sized moai head busts. And Enos actually seems to be kind of succumbing at this point to this. After getting tickled for so long, he just keeps feeding into it, and Achmed is ever ready to accept his embrace. The Cyclops getting in some good damage there. But unfortunately, they did die. Now it's just a mass of Cyprians, and Enos really does not want to dive that mass of Cyprians without having additional beef. Enos is at 42 workers versus lolrsk8s' 24. lolrsk8s needs to get some kind of ground off of this. Even though he's getting in lots of kills, he's not really making any headway. Oh, the lobster was annihilated. I'm sorry, Beaver. It's terminal. Oh no, is he? lolrsk8s is doing what we in the business call cuntish behavior. He's finally building a ministry over here. It took him a little while, but started he did, as finally, some support is en route. The single lobster watches on as lolrsk8s continues to try to tickle in and out for individual hydras. This is just... all you have to do is just build like 4 or 5 circuits here and just ignore him. Just ignore him. And just like run him over. But Enos has commitment issues. No tier 2 in sight for him, although he is slowly amassing money by extent of having his blood pressure escalated by several amounts every single... The lobster was repaired by the shaman. lolrsk8s never quite brave enough to commit either. Frightful of the various Tyranids. Oh, the lobsters strike! That's gonna be bad for Enos. He is not paying attention at all. He is at home right now. You see his camera just barely on the minimap there, and like half of his army died to lobsters. I just got through Elden Ring. I'll tell you, there's some frightful lobsters in that game. Melania? Pfft, no. Lobsters is where it's at. This little dancing back and forth is just... I love how it never seems to go anywhere. It never makes any ground. Just this black hole of money and APM that seems to not benefit either player or really put either player in a disastrous position either. lolrsk8s in the meanwhile has ascended to a astronomical 26 workers. Meanwhile, Enos is almost at 69, which is a win condition. There is a Zorkis being made. That could be concerning. Oh no! Oh no! He trickled back downwards, tumbled back downwards. He has to replenish some of his workers now. lolrsk8s did actually move that Mason, but he's got another 2 just chilling out here. They could at least be mining gas for him. There is really not any kill pressure from lolrsk8s whatsoever at the moment. I think he might need tier 2 to really crack this open, unless Enos has a bruh moment and gets consumed by lobster death again. There are so many Azir cores though. It's hard to imagine lolrsk8s being able to actually... Oh, he saw the lobsters and they intimidated him. Just wiggling and squirming. Well, he built detection to try to deal with the lobsters. Or will he become brave enough? Oh, it's all the Enozlliks. No Gorgoras en route, even though they could end the game very, very quickly. Nope, that Azir core got murdered. lolrsk8s is sated at least for a moment. Just screeching as various crane flies enter his mouth. Collecting, congregating. What even is... Oh no! Well, the gig is up. Lobsters have arrived. You know, as charges forth, he's tired of being tickled. Tired of being heckled, but he's gonna have to bring the Enozlliks with him. Otherwise, lolrsk8s may be able to tickle him down. Enos finally claims random choke point in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. And lolrsk8s tries to tickle him out into the abyss as his structures fly over here. lolrsk8s makes a tactical withdrawal. Meanwhile, well, Enos is making tactical deposits, what with nearly 5,000 minerals and almost enough gas just to go straight to tier 3 if he had gone to tier 2 yet. What would lolrsk8s do? Well, he also is amassing boundless riches. Absolutely boundless riches. For 28 workers, it's amazing how much he's invested into that front line, while also still amassing boundless riches. A testimony to wise spending policies. Every young man should know how to properly handle money. And also how to properly handle dick. You have a broad and deep future ahead of you, indeed. Well, now that Enos has finally broken forward, he has assembled his 2 Droleths to lead his army to certain victory. But will he forget the Enozlliks? What earned him this victory to begin with? They're all kind of just chilling out over there somewhere. He is taking a base. There is a Skither core over there, just kind of chilling out. It could be scouting, seeing if lolrsk8s has been rushing to hippogriffs in the meanwhile. Scrapyards are being built in substantial quantities. lolrsk8s could go for tier 2 at the moment and build something a little bit more formidable, but yeah. Enos, on the other hand, does have tier 2 and enough money to just safely invest towards tier 3 at the moment. The Enozlliks are selected. but they do not join the army. lolrsk8s has found the Azericors who get tickled. An awkward trade. Commitment issues. SMH, what would Ahmed think? There's only 2 Ahmeds in that army, impressive. But he's trying to make more. No lobsters yet, he can't make any lobsters, he has none in that vulture. The Enozlliks have arrived, there is no detection from lolrsk8s. In spite of the fact you saw the rubber, oh my god, there's so many Azericors. They charge forward, but they don't really have a back line for them though. There's not that many Hydras here. A lot of his other units are morphing at the moment. So he kind of like engaged a little bit prematurely. Oh, the cleric is spinning grotesquely violently. It's little tickles here and there. Oh, a whole bunch of units just died to Enozlliks. Enoz charges forth, but he's missing his Bactylisks. Now he's being too committed. Oh, lolrsk8s walked into the no-no zone and had his neg hole paused. Now what will he do? Nothing. He'll just sit back and take it. But there's Bactylisks now. Oh, it's a tragedy. It's a mess. He's waited too long. The interest rates are absolutely insane. He's been making matadors in the meanwhile. Oh no, it's on fire. Well, he did actually have an atlas somewhere. Oh, here it is. Tragic. Really quite tragic. Enoz is firmly at the helm of this game. Absolutely firmly at the helm, but he's making additional Enozlliks, a lot of them, instead of perhaps committing to... Well, I think Enozlliks would be great at this point. Maybe just avoid the Cyprians, but it's not like there's a tremendous amount of them, and they are very slow. lolrsk8s has ascended to 36 workers. That's almost half of what Enoz has at the moment, but Enoz is not mining gas over there, and only lightly harvesting gas elsewhere. In fact, only at his main, and not completely so, is there extensive harvesting going on. So his bases definitely could be working a lot more for him at the moment. So what would lolrsk8s do now that he's past 420 minerals? He can no longer smoke weed, he also has to start vaping like all the kids do. He's trying to use the shamans for detection. Oh my god, it's a disaster. Ahmed charges forward into the sea of crooked dongs and various prickly things and dies absolutely miserably. There are some savants there of the autistic variety, not autistic enough, as they all died utterly miserably. And Enoz gets scared of the undefended ramp. He doesn't want to end the game yet. He wants to go find the equally undefended and much less useful expansion over here. Whatever you click on whatever that structure is, it tells you what that was. So that's a bug I'm going to need to report. So the ministry escapes as units walk completely uncontested into lolrsk8s' base, where they finally find tier 2 units awaiting them other than the savants, I suppose. I have no idea what they do, but they exist anyways. And they died. Utterly miserable. What a rotten way to die. It's hard to tell, but there is a string of units just urinating across the map in his general direction. Oh, there's 3 lurkers. Yeah, this is over. He's gonna try one last holdout without even repairing SMH. Well, Enoz ends the game just shy of 10,000 minerals. He could have completed that one particularly shitty campaign mission that thankfully I do not recall the name of. Both players need to work on commitment. Boys like committed partners, right? You got to be committed. Lolrsk8s seems to have an obsession with tickling. I think he likes tickle fetishes. It may or may not be because of all the various wolf spiders the size of his fucking fist scurrying across his arms and legs where his cat pounces on them and rips off their legs one after the other while giggling as cats often do. But I feel like he spent all that game trying to annoy Enoz to death rather than actually do any real damage to him. So it wasn't any real surprise, by extent of Enoz having doubled the economy for pretty much the entire game after a point. Slowly overwhelmed and then eventually broke free. It really didn't matter what units he used. It was just a simple matter of him realizing, wait a second, I can wipe my ass with this Texan boy. And so he did. When you have your opponent contained in such a fashion, typically that means you're getting advantages elsewhere on the map. Trying to drag his units into lobsters every now and then can net you some unexpected kills, but after 10, 20, 30, 80 minutes, it was hopefully a little more clear that it wasn't going to do anything for you, and some degree of scouting towards your opponent would have yielded that, oh, you probably could have just dropped anchors in his mineral line this whole time. You had two in your base you weren't using after all, not until the very end where, well, their contribution wasn't particularly remarkable. So next time, consider smoking your weed in addition to rolling it.